What's up, guys? How you doing, bro? Who's excited for this live stream? By the way, who knows who this guy is? I can't wait to get started with this. I'm so happy that I came in, and not only do we already have 12 likes on the live stream before we even started, but there's a lot of people already waiting. We got like 13 guys waiting. So without any further ado, let's get it going, my man. Tony, be patient, man. Be patient. All right, so on this live stream, before we get started, we're gonna be covering the texting secrets that she doesn't want you to know. I've got 5 secrets, man. I've got 5 secrets for you, and they're not just like tiny secrets. These are like big leverage points that you guys are that's really gonna level up your game when it comes to texting women, all right? All right, I'm glad to see that Tony has a good attitude about this. You know, I told him be patient, and he's laughing because we're just having a good time here. It's Sunday, we're hanging out. Most people don't do shit on Sunday. Most people play video games, watch Netflix, but we improve ourselves, you know? We get better at game, we improve ourselves, and we invest the time into trainings like this. So can't wait to get started for you guys. If you're on my email list, you already know that this has been a great week. This has been an amazing week, and I'll tell you guys about this in a little bit. But first, a quick couple announcements before we get to secret number 1. First announcement is I have a huge surprise for you guys coming up at the end of this live stream. So you guys want to be on here for the entire time. And if anything, you definitely want to be on here for the end, for the live part, right? Don't be one of those guys who's like, oh, I can watch this later. No, you want to be here on the live stream and engaging, because if you're here for the live call, you will have a big surprise coming for you towards the end. It's only going to be about an hour long. I'm going to try to not go for like 2 hours like I did last week, unless you guys are like, you know, that fun to talk to and you really want me to. Real quick, before I make this other announcement, give me a thumbs up or a yes or a fuck yes if you can hear me clearly. If you can hear me clearly, I want to know, all right? I want to get out any audio issues before we even start. Second announcement. Whoever asks the best question about texting or phone game, all right? Whoever asks the best question is going to win a $500 course from me, all right? If you saw the last live stream we did, you'll know that I gave away like 5 $500 live courses, which is, you know, $2,500 that I potentially missed out on in business. But you know, fuck it. We give value here, and I reward action takers who engage with me live. So whoever asks the best question before the end of the live stream that we actually talk about, I will give you that $500 course. So that's the announcements, and then I have that, of course, that surprise coming up at the end. So without any further ado, we're about 3 minutes in, so let's get into the first secret, texting secret that she doesn't want you to know, all right? And she doesn't want you to know this, and you'll learn why in secrets like 2 through 4, why she doesn't want you to know this. All right, so secret number 1, there are 3 main deadly texting mistakes when it comes to texting women that will kill her attraction for you every single time, right? And I'll elaborate on this a little bit, but you'll kind of see how these 5 secrets that I'm gonna give you are going to like tie in to get together. So if I tend to ramble too much, then maybe I'll give you little hints, and you know, I'll get into later secrets before I want to. So secret number 1, deadly texting mistakes. All right, let me know if you've ever made any of these mistakes, and if so, it's all good, man, because we're gonna fix that today. All right, so the first one is texting her to build a connection with her. All right, who here has ever been texting a girl that you like, and you're trying to build rapport with her via text message, via phone conversation? Maybe it's even talking on the phone with her, especially if you haven't yet slept with her, all right? And here's the big distinction here, because these 3 texting mistakes don't necessarily apply to guys who, let's say you've been seeing this girl past like 5 dates. If you guys are actually like a thing, then you know, this is a little bit different, all right? And I'll get to this maybe in a different live stream if we have time. I might get to it today. But the texting rules kind of change the more familiar you are with this girl. But the only way you can get familiar with her is by seeing her in person. Texting is not the place to do that. So if you just met this girl, or you haven't yet slept with her, or maybe you've only been on 1 or 2 dates. And when I say date, that's like an overall broad term to mention that you've seen her in person one-on-one only 2 to 3 times, all right? It could be, you know, that you invited her out with your social circle, that would count. Or it may be that you guys went to grab coffee, or you guys did something together, right? But if it hasn't been at least, let's say 3 to 5 times, and you haven't yet slept with her, then these apply to you, all right? After that, these kind of like get a little fuzzy and doesn't really matter as much, right? Because she's more invested into you. So that's the first one. So one guy I saw you commented, hold up. A lot of your guys' comments are getting hidden because you're saying curse words in there. So I guess that's one thing that we learned. If you say the word fuck, YouTube will hide your comment, all right? So I'm showing you a lot of you guys' comments real quick. So let me know in what ways have you guys made this mistake in the past where you've tried to text a girl or talk to her on the phone before you've slept with her, or before that 5th date, to where you guys are building a connection. You're trying to build rapport with her. You're trying to show her how perfect you guys would be for each other, right? How many times have you guys done that? And give me specific examples. All right. He asked, all right, designer Chris said he asked for her hobbies, all right? Let me ask you this. Do you think that's a good texting conversation, right? And you'll be able to tell me this from experience. Did it work out for you, right? When you asked her hobbies over texting, maybe you had a cordial conversation with her right there, but did you sleep with her the next day? Did you see her soon after that? Was she super attracted to you? I mean, if you avoided the other 2 mistakes that I'm about to give you, possibly, but you know, if your main strategy for success when it comes to texting women is using that as a means to get to know each other more, then you're fucking up. All right. Yes, Idris Force. Hopefully I said that right. You're right. That's something that you do in person, all right? And I'll give you a little hint on how to transition a texting conversation. If it's going down in the direction where you guys are doing a lot of rapport building over text, I'll give you a little hint on how to transition that to in person here in a little bit towards the end of the call. But yes, you are exactly right. That's the kind of shit that you need to be doing in person, all right? So here's the thing, and I'll tell you this real quick before I get to the other 2 mistakes. When you're texting women, the only reason that you should be texting a girl early on in the dating process, meaning before the 5th date or before you've slept with her at least a couple of times, is because you want to use it as a means to seeing her in the near future. And I use this, I told this to one of my clients literally yesterday on the phone coaching clients. I told them, like, dude, you're over texting this chick and you're going into something that I call the texting triad of doom. And I'll explain what the texting triad of doom is here in a little bit. But what he was doing was he was doing exactly this. He was building a connection with this girl a lot. He was texting her a lot. And it was really killing the sexual tension for them getting to meet up in person, right? So well, that brings me into mistake number 2. Deadly texting mistake number 2 is you're texting her all day long and rarely, if ever, seeing her in person. How many guys here have been interested in a girl? You've liked a girl, maybe you met her in person, you got her phone number, and there's a lot of attraction there. You guys were texting a lot, and we'll address this in a second, but you got her number, you're flirting a lot, but then afterwards you start texting her, and you guys text all day long. Who here has made that mistake? And more importantly, who here has made that mistake and then not seen that girl again in the future? She'll text you all day, but she won't meet up with you. She always has a reason why she can't meet up with you. She's busy. She's got this going on. She's tired. She's been working all day, right? How many times has that happened to you? Huh? Yeah, buddy. I'm already seeing the comments coming in. Designer Chris, YouTube, he said, no wonder I never got her. Yeah, she makes excuses. Hell yeah, she does, because you've been making the first 2 deadly texting mistakes. And this is just secret number 1 of 5, my dude. All right? We're doing a lot of growing here. How to get her to text you back when texting game has died down. Well, here's the thing, man. Texting game is not going to die down if you don't make the mistakes and you learn these secrets that we're going to reveal on this live call. Yeah, man, if she tries to build a connection via texting, not in person, is it a shit test? Great fucking question. We'll address this here in a little bit. Like I said, I don't want to skip ahead because I tend to do that when I ramble a lot. I learned that texting her the whole time would make you needy like a child, so she will put you in the friend zone. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I will say texting is the one place where your true self will shine through. Why? And we'll talk about this more in a little bit, but why is that? Why is it that texting is the one place where your true self will shine through? So maybe you do text her all day long and you make this deadly texting mistake number 2. You're texting her all day long, and like you said, that leads to you seeming needy or try hard and you just end up in the friend zone. That means that you, my friend, have a lot more to work on with yourself. Because if you're becoming needy by texting her all day long, that's because you are inherently a needy person. The words that you use frame yourself as a needy person. Now, I'm not saying that you're like, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that you didn't know about these before. And now that you know about them, you're going to stop making mistakes and you're not going to be as needy anymore. All right. So don't take that as an insult or a diss, but it's just something that you weren't aware of before. But now that you know about it, you're, as they like to say, you're consciously incompetent, right? Who's heard about this? You're unconsciously incompetent means you don't know shit and you don't even know that you don't know shit. You don't know the shit that you don't know, all right? That's where most people start. And then when you learn that you don't know shit, you become consciously incompetent. So now that you know that you don't know shit, which is good because you can only go up from there. And then you become consciously competent, where when you're out, you're doing the things, right? You're going out, you're texting women, you're gaming women, you're improving yourself. You're consciously doing it and you're consciously getting better. You know where you can improve and you're purposely getting better. And then eventually it becomes to where you're consciously or you're unconsciously competent, meaning that you're so good and you're so well practiced at this stuff that you can do it correctly without even thinking about it. And then you're unconscious, maybe I'm getting it wrong. Maybe that's the last step. But basically, it's the steps of progression of your game that you're going to get to. So right now, you're at the place where you just learned that you don't know shit, but just because you now learned that you were making the wrong mistakes, you're going to stop making those mistakes moving forward. Am I right? Am I right? All right, man. So texting mistake number 3, all right, this is the deadly texting mistake number 3, is you're trying to be all lovey-dovey and romantic with her over text. Now, I'll give you a personal example for this. All right, back in the day when I used to get friend zoned a lot, back in the day when I would meet a girl, whether it was through my social circle or through my friends group, right? Or maybe even a coworker at the time, I would text this girl all day long. I would make the first 2 deadly texting mistakes, and I'd be the guy who would pursue her in person. So maybe my in-person game wasn't even that good. But on top of that, with texting, I was making the mistake of trying to be romantic and all lovey-dovey over text. And the example was, we'd text all day long, and then at the end of the night, right before I'd go to bed, I would text her good night with a smiley face. And then in the morning, I'd text her, good morning, beautiful, shit like that. Now, if you're texting good night and with a smiley face, or good morning, beautiful, or you're trying to be romantic over text, and you haven't yet gone at least 5 dates with this girl or slept with her multiple times, then you have no business doing that kind of shit, all right? Here's the thing, man. Here's how I think about it as a dating coach, right? From the time you meet a girl to the time that where you've probably crossed that threshold of like 5 dates and you've slept with her a couple times, that right there is, you know, the earliest phase of the dating process, right? You're kind of dating this chick. Maybe you're not official, but you're still technically dating her, but you're still playing the field. It's not like she's your only option, and she shouldn't be, because if you've been following my advice for any period of time, if you've watched any of my videos, or if you have this book and you've read the introduction, my whole goal is to make you the type of guy who chooses women that he wants from a place of abundance, meaning that you're dating 8 different women, and if you do settle down with one girl, it's because you chose her from the 8, right? You chose the one that you wanted. Most guys come from scarcity, and we call those guys the thirsty many, because they're thirsty as shit, and there's a whole lot of them. But the top 1% of dudes, right? Top 1%, they choose women from a place of abundance. So these guys, early on in the dating process, right? She's playing the field, you're playing the field, right? And then after that, you're still dating her, but maybe you're not yet official, but there's a lot more familiarity there. She's more invested into you because you guys have been seeing each other a lot. And then after that, that's when you kind of go into the relationship realm. But we tend to focus on this channel, at least, in these 2 phases right here. All right, the dating process before she becomes your girlfriend, and then that's a whole different conversation. That has a whole other set of rules. And if you're into science at all, it's kind of like physics and then nuclear physics, right? When you get down to past like the electrons and all that, right? Quantum physics. It's 2 different laws of physics, if you know what I'm saying, right? So he says, I'm still waiting on some good from you, LOL. Dude, you telling me that you haven't learned anything from the 3 texting mistakes at all yet? Dude, come on now. Get that shit out of here. All right. LMAO, yeah, no wonder I really messed up. I used to do that too. I'm so dumb. Here's the thing. You're not so dumb. And this is another thing, man. And I love this because I can respond to you guys and give you guys coaching and point out your blind spots in the moment that you guys don't even know you have, right? One guy said, I'm so dumb. How do you think you're going to start acting if that's the way you talk to yourself every fucking day of your life, right? I'm so dumb. I'm such a fuck up. dude, it's gonna come across as insecure and it's gonna make you seem low value, which in return is gonna make you more needy moving forward when you're with this girl. Maybe you mess up. All right, here's the crucial difference between the guy who gets the girl and the guy who doesn't. Is when the guy who gets the girl, the guy who tends to be more attractive, if he messes up, he says, fuck it, and he forgets about it, right? When Kobe misses a three, he doesn't give a shit about that three because he moves on to the next play because he knows he's gonna make the next one, right? Or at least he tells himself that he's gonna make the next one. So don't be too hard on yourself, right? Be non-judgmental on yourself. Just admit that you're messing up right now and self-correct, course-correct moving forward. Don't judge yourself negatively because of it, because your self-talk 100% plays a role in the vibe that you give off when you're texting women, right? Oh yeah, I forgot this other announcement, right? So I just gave you the 3 deadly texting mistakes. Secret number 1. Forgot to make this announcement at the beginning of the call, right? If we get 100 likes on this live stream before we're done, and if we have 100 people, and these both have to happen, 100 people on the live stream at once and 100 likes at the same time, all right? Then I'm gonna give you every single person who's on the live stream a huge surprise. All right, that goes into the surprise I'm going to announce at the end. They're kind of related, but you know, this last one, if we don't get that, then you don't get to learn what this extra add-on to the surprise is. All right. So secret number 1. Who here learned something from secret number 1? Who here had a light bulb moment from the 3 deadly texting mistakes? Just to recap: texting her to build a connection with her, texting her all day long, and rarely, if ever, seeing her in person. And trying to be all lovey-dovey and romantic over text, right? Being lovey-dovey and romantic over text is the nice guy myth. That's what Hollywood would like you to believe is the way to go. It's the best strategy for success. And I promise you this, it is not going to get you success. And if you've made that mistake before, then you can tell me firsthand that it didn't get you the girl at the end of the day. She friend-zoned you. You were the nice guy who she kept around just for validation, just to validate her when she needed you, but she never slept with you. Because if she slept with you, then maybe you change, and she doesn't want that because she would just lose an extra source of boosting her own ego, if you know what I'm saying, all right? So, secret number 2. Who's excited for this one? All right? Who's excited for... Type a bunch of 2s. I want to see 2s coming across the screen if you want me to move on to secret number 2 right now. If you're excited for secret number 2, because this one is a big one. I see a lot of you guys' questions coming in right now, and you're skipping ahead, and this one is going to really clarify the whole game of texting for you. When you realize what secret number 2 is, it's gonna make things a lot more clear for you guys. So I'm excited to tell you guys, but I wanna know that you guys are excited too. All right, I love it. All right, man. So texting secret number 2 that she doesn't want you to know is that texting over your phone, and I'd pull out my phone just so you guys could see this, but I'm actually recording this live stream on my phone, all right? Your phone and texting is a massive frame battle. Every time you text a girl, any conversation you guys have, it's a massive frame battle. Now, what do I mean by massive frame battle? Well, in person, let's say this, just for example, I give this example a lot, right? If you go out to a bar in Scottsdale, Arizona, in Phoenix, Arizona, in Los Angeles, California, in Las Vegas, wherever the fuck you live, I don't care. When you go out to a bar, what is the hot girl at the bar? What is her frame? I want to see your guys' comments. What is her frame? The hot girl at the bar. The hottest girl at the bar. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my money shirt today because this live stream is about to be money. And it's getting really hot because I live in Arizona, so I might take off this jacket here in a second. What is the frame of the hot girl at the bar? I want to see you guys say this. Yeah. Chosen of Darkness 8. Those guys want to fuck me. Yup. That's her frame. I can get anything I want because I'm pretty. Yup. Her frame can be summed up like this. I'm the hot girl, and if you want to get with me, you have to prove your worth to me. That's her frame. Now, if you've been following my advice, if you've taken action on my book, right? What is your frame? What is your frame? This is a test right here. What is your guys' frame? What should it be? All right, Tony, yeah, I'm comfortable talking, but for some reason, I can't flirt with 2 different girls. Guys are gonna approach me because I'm hot. Top girl in the room. What should your frame be? The exact same as the hot girls, Michael Flanagan. Yeah, kind of exactly like that. If you're going out and you have a good game, right? You have a high self-worth, you have a good self-image, you don't talk negatively about yourself when you mess up, right? Your frame is going to be, I'm a high-value guy, and if you, I don't care how hot you are, maybe your looks intrigue me in the moment, but you gotta have more than that for you to win me over, right? That's your frame. And obviously you can see that in person, right? Just in this example, those frames collide, right? They conflict with each other. They're not the same. They don't work alongside with each other. You guys both can't have the same frame and get what you want, right? Because they naturally conflict. So what happens here? What is this called? This right here is called a frame battle. And here's the thing, man. Whenever a frame battle happens, which almost always happens anytime a guy approaches a girl, whenever that frame battle happens, the stronger frame will always win out. It will always win out. And how do you know which frame won? Well, it's simple. The frame that reacts to the other frame emotionally or conversationally is the one that loses. So if you're in response to her, then you lost the frame battle. So we're not even talking about the texting secret yet, because I want you guys to understand what a frame battle is. So in person, if you guys are doing this, there's a frame battle, you approach her, right? She's a hot girl. You as a man go after what you want. You approach her. There's a frame battle because you have a positive frame for yourself and she has a high value frame for herself. When that frame battle happens, if she's like, if you say something and you approach her in your opening line, right? If she completely ignores your opening line, what do you do in that moment? Do you go, oh my God, I'm so sorry, and you kind of just shrink up a little bit? If so, then that right there was a reaction to what she just did. When she did not respond to your opening line, because you shrunk up and you got all apologetic and you kind of were a little bit apologizing for that, that would be you losing the frame battle because you responded. And Will Raymond, he said, walk away. Well, if you walked away, that would almost also be a response, right? Because your goal in that moment was to go and start a conversation with this girl. She wasn't having it right off the bat, and you walked away. That also was a response, and you also just lost the frame battle, and you definitely will never get that girl, right? So what's the proper moment here? Well, keep talking. The guy who is confident in himself, who believes that he is money, every word that he says out of his mouth is cash fucking money. You approach this girl and you believe, let me ask you this. If you, this is a good example. If you were out at a bar and let's say you had $1 million check that you're gonna give away to any person in that bar that night, right? Would you be bashful or apologetic or walk away from some girl who, when you go up and after the conversation started, you're gonna be like, hey, by the way, I work for the lottery. Here's your $1 million check. You're the lucky winner tonight. Would you walk away? Or would you be like, no, bitch, I got the value. You definitely want this, right? You fucking want this. If that's your frame, and if you see yourself as the same as like having as much value as $1 million check, that right there, you're gonna keep fucking talking and you're gonna be positive and you're gonna be light and you're gonna look at this girl with almost like a sly smile, like, girl, you don't even know what you're missing out on. Like, you're insane right now, right? And you're gonna come from a playful mood. You're not gonna get mad, you're not gonna get reactive. Why? Because you're the fucking value, right? And here is the secret, right? That applies to texting. Here's the secret. She wants you to win the frame battle. She wants you to win the frame battle. She wants to start being in reaction to your frame, period, right? Because here's the thing, man. Just like you don't want to meet ugly chicks who are unattractive to you, who are very annoying, just like you don't want to meet those types of girls, she doesn't want to meet a guy who's low value, who's apologetic, who's the nice guy, who doesn't have any fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? He just doesn't live for himself. He lives to please other people. She doesn't want to meet that fucker, right? Because he's a pussy. For lack of a better term, he's a pussy. She wants to meet the high value guy who's badass, who makes her chase him, who she knows that at the end of the day, if shit hits the fan, you'll be able to protect her. That's what she wants. So that's why the high value girl has to do that kind of shit just to weed out, filter out the guys who aren't like that. So if you if you understand those analogies I gave you just now, to understand that you are value and you understand like what constitutes a frame battle and how do you win one, right? With that in mind and knowing that she wants you to win, it's very easy for you to just not be reactive to her. So when you want something, you fucking do it and you go because you wanted to go. You go up and talk to her because you found her intriguing. Now she has to prove herself to you. That right there is how you win the frame battle. And texting is the number one spot. Number one spot. that this frame battle happens, right? And here's the tricky part, man. And this will bring me into secret number 3. But I want to tell you a story real quick, just so this really settles in. Secret number 2, just so it really settles in. Not too long ago, I was going out with 3 girls a lot, right? And I wasn't actually banging these chicks. They were my 3 wing women. So imagine this. I would go out to Scottsdale, Arizona. We'd travel to Las Vegas. We'd travel to Southern California. It would be me and 3 other chicks. And this is when I was in dental school, right? And these 3 girls got me laid with more consistently, more than anybody, right? Because wing women are always going to be better than the best wing women, even if they don't have good game themselves. These 3 girls happen to have good game themselves and were really fun to be around, so it really helped my cause out. But one of these girls' names, I don't know if I want to give you her actual name just in case she ever sees this, but I remember she was texting this guy, and we were in an Uber going to the club on like a Friday night, and she hands me her phone because she knows I'm a dating coach, right? And she goes, "Oh my God, Patrick, you have to see what this guy just sent me," right? And she hands me her phone, and I look at it, and I'm looking through the conversation, but I'm going to read the text, and I don't read the text, right? The text that she wants me to read, I don't read, because this fat number pops out off the screen, and it immediately catches my attention. And it's in the top left-hand corner of the screen, and it says 22, right? And if you have an iPhone, then you know that this means she has 22 text messages that she hasn't even opened or read yet, all right? And so me, in that moment, I was like, Rebecca, I can't even read this conversation right now because I want to know, why the hell do you have 22 texts that you haven't read yet or opened yet? Why? And she nonchalantly went like this. "Oh, those are just other guys texting me." But did you see what that one guy said? So the lesson for you here is, Rebecca, she wasn't a Playboy model by any means. She wasn't the best looking girl. Oh, I just gave you her name. Fuck. She wasn't the best looking girl in the world, right? She was definitely cute, don't get me wrong, but it's not like she was fucking Jenna Jameson. It's not like she was fucking, name any hot girl, Ariana Grande or whatever. She was just your average, typical girl next door type of girl, right? And she had 23 dudes hitting her up at the exact same time. Only one of them was getting her attention over text. Only one of them, all right? And here's the thing, man. Texting is a massive frame battle. And that story is going to lead me into secret number 3. But I want you to understand that frame battles, texting is even more hard than in person, right? We talked a lot about frame battles in person, but here's the thing, man. The crucial difference, and this is secret number 3, the crucial difference between the guys who get laid and get the girls that they want with consistency and the guys who don't is the words that you send. And here's why. Because in person, when you have the frame battle, you got your body language. You can be leaning back. You can be leaning forward. You can be turned side to side with her, right? You also have your vocal tonality, right? When you say, "So what's your name?" Right? I have the breaking rapport tonality, or the neutral rapport tonality, but I don't go, "Oh my God, what's your name?" Right? These are all different things that you can tweak in person when you're talking to her, which can also play into your frame battle, right? But over text, you don't get that, right? Texting is a massive frame battle, but you don't get the vocal tonality. You don't get the body language. She doesn't get to read your fucking face when you say the words that you say. All you have is the words that you send. And the only difference, the crucial difference between the guys who get the girls and the guys who don't, is they send the right words to win the frame battle. The words that pop up on her phone screen right next to your name when you text her are the only thing that you can really change when it comes to texting. That's it, right? And it doesn't matter, do you wait 3 minutes or 10 minutes to text her? It doesn't fucking matter. I'll be honest, I text girls back right away. As soon as I see the text come in, I'll text them back if I have a response. If I don't, maybe I won't text them back, right? But I don't consciously think, "Oh, I gotta wait. I gotta wait to text this girl back," because I know that the crucial difference is not how long I wait to text her or anything like that. It's the words that I fucking send. And you know what? Rob Judge, if you guys follow any other dating coaches, definitely follow Rob Judge, because Rob Judge, in my opinion, is the number 1 person to talk about when it comes to texting women or just getting girls on like Tinder or Bumble, right? Or any online dating site. In fact, this guy, he's one of my buddies here in Scottsdale, and he is dating the Telemundo weather girl from Las Vegas, and he met her on Tinder. All right, keep that in mind. So Yeah, man. He even said the same thing. Is he doesn't care about how long to text a girl. He'll text a girl right away if he knows what to say back, right? It's all about the words that you send, because the words that you send, and we'll get to this in a later secret, but they gotta frame you as the person who's higher value in this. They have to win the frame battle here. All right. So I had another point that I wanted to make, but I forgot what it was, and I'll come back to it in a second if I remember it. But I want you guys to let me know what light bulb moments have you had so far through secrets 1 through 3, and I'll elaborate on them a little bit more, but I guess I just want to see some of your comments on it so far. So, haha, name slip. Yep, totally did that. Sea Peach, it's getting a little hot here. Caitlyn Jenner, yeah, she's kind of hot. She's kind of hot. Patrick's greeting from Asia. Dude, what's up, dude? Greetings from Asia. Greetings from Arizona. Josh Cristiano, see, I know that you aren't supposed to text the girl you like a whole lot, but what do you do when you are eager to reply, especially when you have a strong connection with her? Well, Josh Cristiano, well, here's the thing, man. Are you making the number one texting mistake where you're for the most part connecting with her over your text message conversations? If so, I would just stop, or I'd transition the conversation to meeting up in person right then and there, because when you connect with a girl, that should be all happening in person, because if you understand the seductive process at all, in fact, it's chapter number 69, no pun intended, in my book. Secret number 69 in my book is the 5 windows of opportunity, and these 5 windows of opportunity have to go in the right order. The first one is you gotta get her attention. Second one is attraction. Third one is connection, right? And then fourth one and fifth one lead to you actually sleeping with her. But here's the thing, man, that all has to happen in person. Now, you got her attention. She's texting you. She knows who you are. She's attracted to you. Hopefully, that connection that you build with her has to be built on a foundation of attraction. If not, then you're gonna friend zone yourself, right? So if she's already attracted to you, she's texting you back, move it in person and connect with her in person, because that is step 3 in the seductive process, and that's only gonna happen in person, man. Can't happen over text, because if you build 1 through 3 over text, and then you can't sleep with her right then and there, and the seductive process gets cut short simply because you're not face to face with her, then it's like being at the free throw line and then shooting a free throw and airballing, and then airballing every single time you shoot a free throw. You're gonna give up eventually, right? Just by the nature of you never making a shot, simply because you're not giving yourself the chance. You're gonna keep airballing, and you're gonna fucking suck. People are gonna boo you out the crowd, and she's gonna stop texting you back. It's as simple as that, man. How can I buy your book, Sea Peach? Well, we'll get to that on a different. See, the point of this call, I don't want to promote my book as much this call, because I got other shit that I really want to get to. But if you really want to buy my book, go to howtogetthegirlnow.com. Or if you go to any of my other videos, the link will be in the description of those videos, howtogetthegirlnow.com. But that's my book, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl. But let's talk about texting even more, all right? On this call, we're talking about texting, you know? So, what are you waiting then? I don't mess it up, LOL. Is it possible to sexually escalate sexually and close the deal via texting? No. Phone sex, no. Phone sex is nowhere near as good as normal sex, and this girl's not gonna have phone sex with you unless you slept with her in person, most likely. All right, most likely. For 98% of the dudes out there watching this video, unless you've slept with her or seen her in person, you're not gonna have phone sex with her for the hell of it. And why would you want to have phone sex with her, right? If you're going out and you want to sleep with girls, having phone sex with a girl is like, you might as well go to the strip club and pay a stripper to dance on you and shit. Because that's way better than just phone sex. Oh, I'm so naked right now. Like, you don't even know how big my cock is, right? Who gives a fuck? Phone sex isn't in person. It's not real sex. It's not as validating. You don't build that emotional connection with her like you do when you're looking her straight in the eyes and fucking the shit out of her, right? You don't get that same experience over the phone or over Skype, all right? So no, terrible question. But keep the questions coming, man. Yeah, Leland Suzetta, just pay shipping and handling, well worth the $7. Thank you so much, man. Honestly, dude, it's kind of a customer service nightmare to even have this book. I got customer service employees, and we get emails every single fucking day from guys so mad that they have to pay $7 for shipping and handling to get a book about 107 proven ways to get the girl. I'm like, are you so scarcity mindset? Like, is your mindset so scarcity based that you won't pay $7, the price of a fucking This is an energy drink. The price of 2 of these, or the price of a large Starbucks coffee, or the price of a salad from Chipotle. Is a salad from Chipotle worth more money to you than a fucking book like this, right? Are you that scarcity minded? Or are you gonna fork over the price to get 1 Starbucks coffee and get 107 proven ways to get the girl? That's just me, but maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Yeah, man. Repeat question. How and when to turn the conversation sexual over Snap or text? Well, here's the thing, man. I actually really like this question. This goes into your frames, the second secret. And I know we're kind of addressing a lot of questions here before we get to secrets number 3, 4, and 5. But this is a good one. So, how do you turn the conversation sexual, and when should you do it? Well, here's the thing, man. I will be meeting a girl and I'll talk to her, and in the first 2 minutes of talking to her, I'll make a sexual comment. Not necessarily about me fucking her, but I'll just say something about sex. Why? Because to me, sex is abundant. Sex is everywhere, right? The only reason you're here on this earth right now is because 2 people had sex. The only reason any of us are here is because 2 people had sex. Sex is everywhere. It happens all the fucking time. In my apartment building right now, probably right next door is 2 people having sex, right? So to me, sex is no big deal. Sex is like pizza. If I want it, I can use texting and order it to my front door if I really need to, right? It's like sex to me is just like as mundane as pizza, all right? That's how I think of it. And just because of that, when I start bringing up sexual topics, because it's no big deal, I can also easily change change from a sexual topic to a non-sexual topic like it's no big deal, right? Because it's not a big deal to me. So to answer your question, fuck it. Start texting her sexual things right away, because that's just who you are. Now, here's the thing. It has to genuinely be who you are. It has to be congruent to your personality, right? And if you're not quite there, work your way up to it. Don't go for the fucking, don't shoot for the moon right away if you're just now getting into dating advice and seduction advice and just now getting comfortable with the topic of sex. But if she can tell that you genuinely have that belief and sex is no big deal to you, not only does that say and imply a lot of attractive traits, character traits about you, but it also will mean like, oh, sex is no big deal to him, then I can comfortably talk about sex, even though maybe I'm not too comfortable with it, because he's not gonna judge me negatively for it, right? Most guys, if they're not comfortable with sex and a girl starts talking about sex, what does he immediately label her? Slut, right? He'll immediately start slut shaming her. And every girl has that subconscious fear of being slut shamed by a guy for showing the sexual, adventurous, and naughty side of her, right? And that's where a lot of guys tend to mess up, especially over texting, is she'll think that this guy's gonna judge her negatively for bringing that side of her out. So if you're comfortable with it, if you come from a place where you're not gonna judge her for being that way as well, then sex is no big deal. You can talk about it whenever, even if you just met her, all right? So, yeah, man, good question. All right, man, so texting secret number 2, all right, texting secret number 3, the difference between the guys who get laid and the guys who don't, or the words that you send. All right. So by sending I want to make this point, by sending women the wrong texts, right? If you send the wrong words, think about this, that don't, I guess, win the frame battle, that don't frame you as the prize to be won over here, right? And if your frame is that she's the one choosing you and you have to work for her by being romantic, by building connection with her, if that's your frame and the words that you send are implying that, then you're sending the wrong text. And by sending women the wrong text, here's what's bound to happen. First, she'll lose the traction for you really fast, right? Even if she was interested to begin with. And I just remembered, this is the point I wanted to make with secret number 2, right? With the frame battle. Women, when it comes to texting guys that they want, because they have so many dudes who are hitting them up, right? I already told you the story about Rebecca, who had 23 dudes hitting her up at the exact same time, right? Because women are abundant with guys who are texting them, wanting to hang out, wanting to sleep with them, even if they're not the best looking women in the world, right? Because of that, she's gonna have 2 different impressions of you when it comes to texting. And you've probably seen me talk about this before, right? 2 different impressions. So one is the impression that she has of you in person, the impression of you that involves body language, vocal tonality, having to respond to you in the moment, not getting to think about what she wants to send back to you, right? That impression. And even if that impression of you is amazing in person, it will not carry over to texting, right? It will not carry over to texting, All right. And here's the thing why. Here's the reason why. Because you don't got your body language, you don't got your vocal tonality. And when you start texting her, you're immediately thrown into the pool of 23 dudes who are also texting her. Right. So the only way that you're going to stand out is by sending her the right words. And like I said, if you send her the wrong text, the first thing that's going to happen is she's going to lose attraction for you really fast, even if she liked you in person. All right. And here's the thing, man. Even if you think like the in-person stuff matters, because it honestly does, and that's what this book teaches you, it truly does matter. But what is texting? Texting is the means to seeing her again in the future, right? If you don't seal the deal right away, you're gonna have to see her again in the future, and you're gonna have to link up together using texting as the tool to do that, right? So this, whether you want to admit it or not, is the key leverage point to you getting the girl or not, is learning how to text her in an attractive way, all right? So first thing is gonna happen, she'll lose attraction really fast. Second thing, she'll start being shorter with you over text, texting you 1 to 2 word responses or replies that don't really give you much to work with. All right, when you're texting her, you're trying to have a conversation with her. If she's sending you 1-word replies, 2-word replies, it's gonna be very hard for you to carry this conversation, right? And if you avoid the first 3 texting mistakes and you understand secrets 2 and 3, then, and you send her the right text, then she'll probably be the one texting you first. And she'll be texting you fucking paragraphs, not just 1 to 2 word replies to you, right? That's the second thing. Third thing that'll happen is she'll stop texting you back every time. And you're gonna start to wonder, does this girl like me anymore? Is she seeing other dudes? What's going on? I thought she liked me. And then you'll get needy, right? And this is another thing. You'll get needy and you'll text her again. And then you'll text her again the next day or 3 days from now. And she's gonna still be texting you 1 to 2 word replies and sometimes not even texting back at all. How many guys has this happened to watching this? Because I'll be straight up with you. This has happened to me a lot. It happens to the best of us. But here's the thing, man. Just don't keep let it happening to you. And how do you do that? You learn this kind of stuff that we're talking about today, and you course correct, all right? And that's the third thing that's gonna happen. The fourth thing that's gonna happen, and this is the worst one, is you will never see her again in the future. Even if she turns around and she starts texting you back, and she starts texting you paragraphs again, even if, right, if you've already seen those first 3 texting mistakes, and you've made the deadly texting mistakes that we talked about in secret number 1, even if she starts texting you back again, you will never see her again in the future. You will not sleep with her. The only reason that she would flip after you see the first 3 things that I told you are gonna happen is that she just wants to keep you around as an extra source of validation for her. When she's feeling a little bit low about herself, or when she feels like she needs another dude to start validating her, that's when she'll start texting you, because she knows that you're there ready and waiting for her to come around. And she knows that. Women are not dumb, right? They know what's going on here. And the only reason she's gonna do that is because you're a source of validation for her. That's it. And for her to sleep with you, that would ruin that source of validation, because it's gonna change the dynamic of your relationship. And she would rather keep that source of validation and meet another dude, maybe one of the 23 guys who are already texting her at the same exact time, versus sleeping with you and finally coming around, right? This is also goes into like the Hollywood myth, is guys think that to get women attracted to you and actually date her and sleep with her, that you are gonna connect with her first, you're gonna show her that you guys have a lot in common, and then over time, she's gonna become attracted to you, and after she becomes attracted to you, then you guys are gonna eventually sleep with each other. And that never happens. It just doesn't happen like that. For the most part, and most guys, if you actually went out and interviewed most couples, and I know this is definitely the case for me, and a lot of my friends who have an awesome girlfriend of their own, they had the same experience. Is most of the time, that relationship, I'm gonna start drinking my energy drink right now. Most of the time, that relationship started off with a lot of attraction and a lot of passion, and most likely they had sex really fast, right? If it wasn't the first night they met, it was definitely the second or third night they met, right? So they were avoiding a lot of the mistakes that we've been talking about, and it started off with sex, and it kind of progressed from there. Right? The connection comes over time, right? Me and my girlfriend, we become more and more connected to each other over time because we did exactly what I told you, right? We met, there was a lot of attraction, we were flirting a lot, and we got, we explored that physical chemistry with each other. And then once we started to realize that we like each other's company and we started spending more time with each other, and I chose her from a place of abundance and vice versa, that's when we started building on top of what we already had, building that connection on the foundation of attraction. Does this make sense? All right? Does this make sense? I'm gonna go to the comments because I feel like I'm talking a lot and I'm kind of just need a break real quick. Can you do a short recap of the first 2 mistakes? Joined late. I can, Jay. I will do that real quick, or you can just rewind the live stream. Either way works, but I'll recap it here for a little bit. Second question. I have a few female friends who show slight interest in person, but in text, it's a nightmare. Can you tell me which of the 30 texts I should use? Rohan, man, you're skipping ahead of me. We'll get to that in a second, but I like the question. Write words. Could you give an example? Something you should write. Daniel Mayerhofer. I will get to that in a second. We're only 3 secrets deep. So, John Two Wheels. We haven't seen since school. I found her really attractive. I DM her on Instagram. We WhatsApp. She's not in town, but it's coming soon. How to get her excited to meet you again via text? Well, I have a text for that, and I'll get to that in a second. I love these questions, man, because you guys are definitely like seeing where I'm going with a lot of this stuff. So you guys are definitely getting ahead of me, but I'm gonna address a lot of these questions here in a little bit. Let's see. You don't need streaks in order to feel accepted by her. Dude, here's the thing, man. Tony, accept yourself first and women will start accepting you, right? I say this in one of my emails. And let me know if you guys are on my email list and you've seen this email, but I had this huge realization once that, and it was in my business, but it applies to game too, is like I was grinding so hard on the business and I was trying to get it to work every day, waking up, grinding, hustling. And I did the same thing with game as well. But then one day, here's the thing, when you are so obsessed about achieving a certain outcome, whether it's getting good at game, good with women, winning a certain girl over, or just improving your business and making more money for yourself, right? When you're so obsessed about one thing and you go to bed at night thinking, how can I overcome this obstacle? It's almost like the dreams that you have are also trying to find solutions to that one problem. And for a week straight, I would literally go to bed obsessed about this one thing I was trying to accomplish. And in the morning, I would dream about it all night. And then in the morning, it was so weird. And I'm really not into like a bunch of like woo-woo, law of attraction type of stuff. But I would literally go to bed, wake up the next morning, and in those like 15 seconds when you're coming out of sleep, you know what I mean? Like you're coming out of sleep, but you're still kind of asleep, but you're kind of aware of what's going on around you. I would literally hear like a voice whisper into my ear and it would say one sentence. And that sentence would always be like the key insight I was looking for. And so this one sentence that I heard this one morning that I woke up was so poetic, so beautiful that I just had to write it down. And it was this: joy comes first, results come second. I'll repeat that. Joy comes first, results come second, right? So if you're trying so hard to achieve a certain outcome in your business, with women, with this one girl, with texting, right? If you're no longer having fun doing it, then you're not gonna get the result that you want, right? Joy comes first, results come second. If you wanna have a good time, don't put your own state, your own emotional state, and your own acceptance of yourself on achieving that result or not achieving it. Accept yourself first, have fun first, and the results will start to follow that. Does that make sense, right? When I had that realization, everything changed for me. I got more women because I was more carefree. I was more light and playful. And I got more, I attracted more business because I can turn on the video camera, and rather than speaking to the camera thinking I have to get this perfect, I would just free flow. And I would just shoot the shit and give honest advice from my own experience. This is why it's called raw dating advice, all right? Joy comes first, results come second. How do I get women to tongue emoji? I don't know what you mean by tongue emoji. Your subconscious working on the question for you. Exactly. How do you build real great confidence? Oh, I like that question a lot. You guys are asking a lot of questions. And I like I said at the beginning of this call, whoever asks the best question that is texting related by the end of the call will win a $500 course, right? And you can't, if you won it last week or the week before, you can't win again. But I appreciate a lot of the questions that you guys are asking. And just to recap on this other announcement, if we get 100 likes on this live stream while we're live and 100 people on the call at once at the same time, right? Both of these have to happen. A massive surprise is going to be given to every single person who's on the live stream today, all right? So I think right now, I'm going to take a drink real quick. This is not a brand deal, by the way, but I love this energy drink. It's so good. It's got creatine and BCAA, so it's a really good pre-workout, which I'm gonna work out after this anyways. So, secret number 4. Texting is the number one leverage point that will level up your game or not. And I talked about this a little bit. I already kind of hinted at it. Is that even if your in-person impression of, if her person impression of you is great, it won't transfer over to texting. And here's part of the reason why, right? I gave you the reasons why before, but this is to build on top of it, is when you're in person and you're talking to her, you control your voice. You control your vocal tonality. When you text her the right words or the wrong words, when you text her and those words pop up on her phone screen right next to your name, she's reading those words in her voice. And that right there is the difference, right? So texting, not only do you have to send the right text, but it is the gateway to you seeing this girl again in the future. If you have terrible game when it comes to texting, and even if your game in person is amazing, you have the best game. If you can't master this one gateway to seeing her again in the future, you won't see her again in the future. Period. Unless you happen to run into her at another bar or something. That's it, right? So texting is that place. And here's the number one thing, right? Women test men. We all know this. Women test men in person. They have shit tests. But the number one place that she's going to test you all the time, even more than in person, is over texting, right? She has so much leverage to work with. Not only does she have a lot of guys trying to get her up, meet up with her, and they're using texting as that tool, but also, she can choose to not respond to you because she's so abundant. She can text you 1 or 2 word replies because she knows that the majority of guys will start chasing her and become needy because of it. And she does this. She tests you to filter out the guys, the boys from the men, basically, to filter out the boys from the men. And like I said, she wants you to be that badass dude who's texting her. She wants that to be you, right? She doesn't want some pussy whip dude to fucking be texting her. She wants the badass dude that she's gonna have to chase and work for herself to start texting him. Meaning that as soon as you're able to convey that in the right ways, it's gonna be 100% different, right? You're gonna see a complete 180 with this girl. When she concludes that you are that type of guy, she'll start texting you first. She's gonna be texting you back paragraphs and not 1 to 2 word responses. She's gonna be apologizing for any bad behavior that she's shown in the past, right? She's gonna be the one working for you. She's gonna be the one qualifying to you, all right? Period. Now, here's the thing. If you pass this test, and this is the tricky part, if you pass her test just once, her interest in you lives for another day. But if you fail the test just once, immediately you've placed a seed of doubt in her mind that you are that guy. Immediately. And once that seed of doubt is there, just like the mustard seed, it can grow, it can blossom into this huge thing, which eventually leads to you starting to pursue her, you making the 3 deadly texting mistakes from secret number 1, and you losing her respect, right? She's gonna lose respect for you as a man if you fail her test just once. Now, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a complete 180 where she's gonna completely turn off, but it's gonna be the seed of doubt that you are that guy, all right? That's secret number 4, is women use texting as the number 1 place to test men. So yeah, if you really wanna think about it, it's like walking a tightrope, right? And I even talk about it in my book, right? Seducing women is a lot like walking a tightrope. In fact, that might be the first sentence of the book, right? Well, actually, the first sentence from the introduction is you, my friend, are a badass, which is true. But literally, look, the attraction tightrope, secret number 1. And texting is like, if you think that's bad in person, it's times 10 over texting, right? Why? Because all you got is the words. The only thing that you can change up is your words that you're sending her. That's it, right? So, this brings me into secret number 5. But I really do want to recap real quick before we get into secret number 5, what the first 4 secrets of texting that she doesn't want you to know are. And then after I recap these 4, I'm going to start taking your questions so I can give away a $500 course. Is that cool? All right. So secret number 1, the 3 deadly texting mistakes that kill attraction. 1, you're texting her to build a connection with her. Like we said, this is best done in person for the reasons that I gave you on this live stream. See, deadly texting mistake number 2, texting her all day long, and rarely, if ever, seeing her in person, right? Are most of your conversations with her over text, or are most of your conversations with her in person? If most of them are over text, you know you got some shit to work on. And the deadly texting mistake number 3, trying to be all lovey-dovey and romantic over text just to win her over, just to show her that you're that type of guy who's romantic and chivalrous and a gentleman, because it's not gonna work for you over text, right? So that's texting secret number 1. Texting secret number 2 that she doesn't want you to know is texting is a massive frame battle. It's a frame battle, right? And here's the thing, man. She loves it when she sees guys making those 3 deadly texting mistakes. Why? Because like I said, she wants you to be the badass dude, right? She also has so many dudes texting her, trying to hit her up, that she has to have a filtering system to weed out the boys from the men. So when she sees a guy making any one of those 3 mistakes, immediately she's happy, because that means that she can forget about you and move on to the other dudes. Period. But if you don't make those texting mistakes and you win the frame battle, not only in person, but also over text, showing her that you're not going to react to her, showing her that you're leading this emotional, this conversation, and you're doing it from a place of fun and positivity. You're the source of good emotions. You don't really react to her bullshit, and you're just non-reactive and nonchalant overall, and that's your frame. And she has to work for you and qualify herself to you in a light and playful way, not like a serious way, like a job interview or anything, but in a light and playful way. Like you're just a naturally attractive dude who doesn't really have a lot of things that you care so much about to where it makes you not fun to be around, So texting is the number 1 place that that frame battle is going to occur, because like I said, that's the gateway to you seeing her again in the future. So that's secret number 2. Secret number 3 is the crucial difference between the guys who get laid and the guys who don't consistently, or the words you send. Because the words that pop up on her phone screen next to your name are literally like, that's all you got to work with when it comes to texting women. Because it's not like you got your vocal tonality. It's not like you got your body language that she can read. In fact, the only thing that you have is how she reads your words in her own voice. That's it. That's the name of the game. And the guys who get laid a lot know how to do this the right way. So, like I said, if you send her the wrong text, first, she'll lose attraction for you really fast, even if she likes you in person. Second, she'll start being shorter with you, sending you 1 to 2 word responses that don't really give you much to work with. Third, she'll stop texting you back every single time, right? Especially when she used to text back right away. And worst of all, finally, you will never see her again in person. At least not one-on-one with her being sexually attracted to you. Maybe you'll run into her at like an event, at work, through a social circle, but it won't be one-on-one, and it won't be under the context of her being sexually attracted to you, wanting to sleep with you, right? Even if her in-person impression of you was amazing and you guys flirted a lot when she first gave you her number, if you get it wrong over text, that's what's bound to happen. And she's only going to keep you around. If she does keep you around, it will only be for you to validate her. That's it. Secret number 4, before we get into secret number 5, and before I start taking your questions, I give away $500 course of mine called Words That Make Her Want You, right? Is texting is the number 1 leverage point that will level up your game or not. Why? Because it is the tool to seeing her again in person. And whether you want to accept it or not, that's fine, man. But that just happens to be the way the game is played these days, right? And here's the thing, man. You can cry about it. You can bitch and moan about it. You can talk about how much you don't want it to be that way, or how much you really don't think it should be that way. But at the end of the day, it is that way, right? But you should be happy that it is that way, right? Because it's not easy. It's not easy to be the guy who sends her the right text. At least not for most guys. And I'll tell you how it can be easy for you here in a little bit. But for most guys, it's not easy. And that should make you happy. Because when you invest in yourself and you watch Raw Dating Advice and you take action on a lot of stuff that we talk about, it will become easy for you, meaning that you're going to finally be in the top 1% of dudes, and most guys won't even know what your secret is. They're going to be coming to you for advice, asking you what you're doing to get that girl, because they won't know. Because they'll be stuck in the thirsty many who don't know a lot of this shit, who don't invest in themselves, who don't take action on what we're talking about here now, and they make all the mistakes that we're talking about. And they have no fucking clue. They're unconsciously incompetent. They don't even know that they don't know. They don't know the shit that they don't know. Is this making sense, man? Is this making sense? Give me 3. I want to see 3s come up across the screen if this is making sense to you. Or, you know, if I'm just like being crazy and I'm being like just saying a bunch of nonsense that doesn't make sense, then let me know by all means, because I want to be here for you guys. This is for you, not for me. All right? 3, 3, 3, 3. I love it. I love it. I want to see more 3s. More 3s if this is making sense. And here's the thing, man. If you pass her test, right? Texting is the number one place that she's going to test you. Number one place that she's going to test you. And if you pass her test just once, her interest in you lives for another day. But if you fail the test just once, she'll start to lose all respect for you as a man. And it's kind of, sort of like walking a tightrope, right? You can do everything right all the way up until the end, but one misstep, just one, and that's like the seed of doubt that gets her to start looking at her other options, where she starts to lose respect for you as a man. And she has a seed of doubt that you are that guy that she's gonna be happy chasing and working for, right? Women by nature want to submit to a man. Women are very submissive. It's natural femininity right there. Feminine energy submits to masculine energy. She wants you to be the masculine energy guy, and she wants to be the feminine energy woman so she can submit to you. All right. So a lot of guys are asking about the blowjob sequence, and they're skipping ahead real quick. But let's get into secret number 5. And before we get into answering any questions about 30 perfect texts or the blowjob sequence, which a lot of guys are jumping ahead of time, right? Because these guys are on my email list and they know a lot of the stuff we're talking about already, because we've been talking about this all week on the email list. And if you're not on the email list, you got to get on the email list, dude. You just got to do it. And I'll teach you how you can here at the end of the live stream. But for anybody who's on this live stream right now, I want you guys to start submitting your questions to me, because like I said, I'm going to be giving away a $500 course to one person who asks the best texting related question. All right? Or it could be phone game, anything phone game related. Whoever asks me the best phone game question that I, talk about, I'm going to give you a $500 course, both free, just because you interacted with me and gave me an awesome question, right? And this $500 course is badass. This is not a sales pitch for it, but it's called Words That Make Her Want You. So we talk about sending the right text. That's cool, but what do you do in person? What do you say in person? Words That Make Her Want You is that course. All right, so how do you change your frame back to high value man after you've messed up and became lower value? I like this question a lot. Josh Cristiano. Tucker, my dog was sitting down here. The way you do that is through repeated exposure, right? Because here's the thing, man. You've probably heard me say it, is that first impressions are hard to change, right? We've all heard this. First impressions are hard to change. However, a lot of people don't realize this about me, and I probably don't talk about it that often, is that a lot of people often get the wrong first impression about me. A lot of people, when they first meet me, they think I'm stupid. They think I'm an airhead. They think I'm a douchebag, right? Until they get to know me and until they see what I've created for myself and what I've accomplished in my own life and all the bullshit that I've been through to get to where I am now, right? And people sleep on me, right? So yes, first impressions are hard to change, but a lot of times people get the wrong first impression of me, and I'm able to change that. And how is that? Is through repeated exposure, showing them that I am the exact opposite of what they originally thought. So if you found that you are making the wrong impression on these girls, right? They're getting the wrong impression of you, or you've made the mistakes that we talked about on this call that gave them the wrong impression of you. The only way you're going to overcome that is by immediately stopping the mistakes that are giving her that impression and immediately start becoming the guy who's the better version of yourself, the guy who you want, the guy who would give off the impression that you want her to have of you, right? And you have to show her that not only in person, but over your social media stories, through the way you text her, the text you send her, right? You got to immediately stop all the attraction killing stuff that we talk about and immediately become the exact opposite, right? And when she sees that one time, she'll go, maybe he's different. 2 times, she'll go, I'm starting to like this guy. 3 times, she's in your frame now. That simple, all right? King AI, how to build the frame personality that comes up with the high status frame winning text messages. Maybe I'm airheaded right now, but I feel like I read that and didn't understand it. How to build the frame/personality that comes up with the high status frame winning text messages. Oh, how to build, okay. Yeah. So the way you obviously so basically, if I had to sum up your question in a simpler way, you're asking how to be the type of guy who women chase, how to be the guy who is high value. Well, I would say this is a whole other topic of conversation, but if any of you guys have my product, it's called the Fearless Banter Formula. It comes with a bonus, as if you get the ebook of this, right? It comes as a bonus, or if you get the audiobook of this, I give that to you as a bonus. It's called the Fearless Banter Formula. That's the only place you can get it right now. But that right there talks a whole lot about how to win these frame battles and what these frame battles are and what constitutes a winning frame and a losing frame, that type of stuff. So I would say if you want to have a high value frame and you immediately want to become that guy, realize what traits make up a low value frame. So the low value frame is someone who apologizes for your actions. So you're very apologetic. Another one, you qualify yourself a lot. So maybe any story you tell, anything that you do, if the motivation of you telling that story or doing that thing was to convey how awesome you are to the other person, that's a form of qualification. Qualification is really, if you really want to think about it like this, is if you go into a job interview, right? What is a job interview? The job interview is the guy, he puts out an ad and says, hey, we're hiring and we want someone with these qualities, right? And then the person who applies for the job comes in and he says, I have these qualities and here's why. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. And that person is qualifying themselves because they're trying to show that they are qualified for the job. It's the exact same thing in seduction. If you qualify yourself to show why you would be a good fit with her or why she should be interested in you, anything that you do to convey that is a form of qualification, and that right there is low value because it doesn't put you in the place. It doesn't put you in the position of the person who chooses in this interaction. It doesn't put you in the position of the buyer in this interaction. It puts you in the position of the person selling themselves. And you don't want to be the guy who's selling yourself. You want to be the guy who effectively markets yourself. You're here, it is what it is, and people who vibe with you are naturally going to come into your life and do whatever they can to stay in your life or not, right? That right there is the key difference. So I really love that question. How do you build a real great confidence in order to portray it even via text? That's a good question, but let me see what these other questions are. How to qualify a girl through text? That's a good one. So how do you qualify a girl through text? Well, literally anything so for example, and I'll talk about this in a little bit. Actually, you know what? Why don't we use this question as a way to transition into secret number 5, all right? So I'll come back to this in a second. What are the key words to use texting her so that we stand out? I'll give you that in a second. Secret number 5. Question. So if texting her the whole day is annoying for her, and if texting her for setting up dates, then would zero texting would make her lose interest? If so, how should I keep the spark on /test? I love this question. All right, this might be the best question that's phone attraction related so far. All right, so if texting her, let me recap this question. If texting her all day long is one of the deadly mistakes that's going to kill her attraction for you, and texting is only for the sake of setting up the date early on in the dating process, meaning that you haven't slept with her multiple times and you haven't seen her in person one-on-one under the context of you guys are attracted to each other at least 3 to 5 times, then this would apply to you 100%. So if texting is only for that, then would zero texting make her lose interest? If so, how do I keep the spark on, right? So here's the thing, man. If you don't text her, you will not get her. You have to text her. Texting her is a necessary evil, right? Now, here's the thing, man. Sometimes if a girl is really bad at responding to you over text, maybe she's just bad at texting. And in that case, I would call her because in my experience, if a girl's bad at texting, she'll be good at answering the phone, right? Most people, there's 2 types of people the way I see it. People who like to talk on the phone and people who like to text, right? I happen to be a phone guy, right? But girls are the same. So here's the thing, man. You have to use your phone as a means to see her again in the future. It's a necessary evil, right? So to answer your question, zero texting would be like fading into the background and voluntarily losing, right? If you don't text her at all, it's like you're intentionally missing the shot, right? It's like that old quote, by Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And if you don't ever take the shot, you don't even have the chance to miss it, right? You don't even exist in her realm of reality. So going back to the secret number 69, chapter 69 in my book, The 5 Windows of Opportunity, for you to seduce a girl, you have to have her attention first. You have to be on her sexual radar, right? If you don't have her attention, if she doesn't know who the fuck you are, or if you just kind of fade off into the background and disappear, then you can't seduce her. You can't attract her. You can't connect with her. You can't isolate her. You can't physically escalate with her, which are the 4 subsequent windows of opportunity. The first one is attention. She has to know who you are, and you have to be on her radar for her to sleep with you, for her to be interested in you. And I say sleep with you lightly because not every guy who watches my advice, who takes action on this stuff, not every guy's out there trying to rack up the numbers. A lot of guys are in a phase of life where maybe they want that one awesome girlfriend who's their ride or die chick. And that's fine, but you still have to abide by these core fundamentals of seduction, because everything that we're talking about here apply to the beginning of the dating process, right? After that, that's when the rules start to change a little bit, kind of like the way physics changes from quantum physics. The laws of physics change, right? So the laws of dating change the more familiarity you have with this girl, right? But right now, you have to have her attention. You have to stay on her radar, right? So how do you keep that spark on? Well, you send her perfect texts. Now, this brings me into secret number 5. So a lot of you guys have been asking, all right, so what are the right words? How do I send her the right words? How do I frame myself the right way? What text should I send? How do I keep the spark on? And that is secret number 5. You have to send her the right text, right? Secret number 4 is the words are the number 1 leverage point to you seeing this girl again in the future and meeting up with her in the future. Secret number 5 is you have to send her a perfect text. So what do I mean by perfect text? Well, all texts, in my opinion, have to have one of these 3 traits, if not all 3, right? And here's basically the anatomy of a perfect text. Here's what the anatomy of the perfect text are, right? 1, it frames you as the buyer in this interaction. 2, it gets her chasing you. And when I say chasing, it could be qualifying to you, apologizing to you, just doing anything to convey that she is someone worthy of you choosing. Right? Does that make sense? So frames you as a buyer, and then it gets her chasing your approval. It gets her selling herself to you. And 3, it gives her the opportunity to win you over, right? Most guys, they'll text her, and if they avoid a lot of the first stuff that we've been talking about already, they forget about this last one, right? Gives her the opportunity to win you over. And the reason I say this, and I even say this a lot here, and even in my course, Words That Make Her Want You, is, oh, by the way, real quick, I'm going to say that Tony Al Pacino, you just won that $500 course because I really did like that question, right? So, Tony, if you want to claim your $500 course, what I want you to do is I want you to comment your email on my last video, all right? Comment your email address on my last video and let me know that you're the guy who won from this live stream. I'm going to screenshot your question right now so that way I can match it up for all you other guys who are like, oh, I'll just go comment on the last video and pretend I'm Tony. No, it won't work because I'm screenshotting Tony right now, all right? So, Tony, just leave your comment with your email address on my last video, which is probably my last live stream, and I'll send that $500 course over to you. Congratulations. So, back to what I was saying. The anatomy of a perfect text has 3 traits. 1, it frames you as a buyer in this interaction. 2, it gets her chasing you, qualifying to you, selling herself to you. And 3, it gives her the opportunity to win you over. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. Because here's the thing, and Tai Lopez, whether you like Tai Lopez a lot or not, he always says this: people can do anything as long as it's not forever. If I told you right now to sit down on your wall and do a wall squat, meaning that you're literally just like leaning against the wall in a chair position, right? And you're just sitting there, you could do that. If I told you to do it for 5 minutes, you could do that if you really wanted to. If I was like, I'll give you $1 million if you can do it for 5 minutes, right? Or if I said, $1 million check, if you want it, go do a wall squat. And if you were like, well, how long do I have to do it to win the $1 million? And if I was just like, just start and we'll see, so we'll go from there, right? If I don't give you the light at the end of the tunnel, then you're gonna give up. You're not gonna do it. People can do anything as long as it's not forever. So women, for you to seduce them, not only do you have to have the right frame that gets her chasing you and working for you and qualifying herself to you, but you also have to give her the opportunity to win you over. Now, if you watched my last live stream, I talked a lot about a similar concept when it comes to attracting women and spiking sexual tension, is that if a woman's already intimidated by you and all the frames are set, if you continue to be a dick to her and continue to tease her and continue to qualify her after she's already done that so many times, then she's gonna lose interest because she's gonna be like, this guy's too much of a dick. He's too intimidating. Maybe he's out of my league. And she's just gonna give up because she's not confident enough to get you. Does that make sense? So you have to give her the opportunity to win you over. So if you're really good at qualifying girls, getting them working for you, getting them chasing you, at the end of the day, you gotta start validating her. You gotta kind of open up the light at the end of the tunnel, make it bigger, and give her the opportunity to win you over. So that is the anatomy of a perfect text, right? And when you understand that, right, and when you put that as the filter between every single text that you send, does every text that you send, before you send it, ask yourself, does it accomplish at least one of these three things that make up a perfect text, right? And I say perfect because not every text is going to have all three of these. Some texts are going to have one or two or all three. But if it has all three, in my opinion, that is a perfect text to be sending her. So start using this as your filter of what you're going to send in the future. And if it doesn't, if it has you making any of the three mistakes that we talked about before, or if it doesn't apply to this, it's probably not moving you any closer to sleeping with her, right? And when I say sleeping with her, I mean also just seeing her again in the future under the frame of she's attracted to you, right? So maybe if you're not trying to rack up the numbers and maybe you just want to see if she's an awesome girlfriend or girlfriend material, same kind of shit, right? So if you can do that and make the majority of your text perfect or close to perfect, then you'll finally put yourself in the top 1% of guys who make any girl you want addicted to chasing your validation. Because here's the thing, just like working out, who here works out, all right? Give me a one. I wanna see ones fly across the screen if you work out on a regular basis. I'm drinking pre-workout right now. I'm about to go work out after this, right? Who here works out on a regular basis? I love it. I love it. I got a lot of fit guys on my email list or on my YouTube list. Love this shit. All right. So the guys who work out, you can tell me from personal experience that after you work out so many times, maybe it's hard to create the habit of going to the gym and doing a good workout at first. But once you've done it so many times, you'll almost become addicted to it. The feeling of breaking down your muscle fibers and building them back up and eating that protein shake afterwards, it almost becomes addictive. Why? Because it's a challenge for you. You enter the flow state where it's a challenge for you, but it's something that you can work towards with the effort. You exert the effort, and it creates all these dopamine. Like it releases all this dopamine in your brain to where you actually get pleasure from it, and you become addicted to that feeling, the high of working out. Right? It's the same thing. If a girl sees you as a challenge, and you're giving her the opportunity to work or to win you over, if she qualifies herself to you, she becomes addicted to that process because it's like she does a little bit of work, she gets a dopamine hit. She does a little bit of work, she does a dopamine hit. This is science right here. This is literally biochemistry right here. And if you guys thought you were bad at chemistry, if you can understand this, that's all you need to know about chemistry to succeed in seducing women, all right? It becomes addictive. So if you can make yourself not only that guy in person, but especially over text, because like we said, these are two separate boxes in her head, right? Then she will become addicted to chasing your validation, right? She will literally become addicted. Let me know, give me a one if this is making sense, right? Give me a one if you can see how this works, right? I wanna see those ones fly across the screen. See one, yep. So the second thing is, once you learn how to send the perfect text and you use that as your filter for any text that you send in the future, then you're gonna start having the girls that you want that you're texting, and whether you're texting 10 girls or 2 girls, I don't care. But if you can do this, then you're gonna start having the girls that you're texting, they're gonna be thinking about and obsessing about how they can win you over in the future, right? And this is what you want. This is the key thing that you really want. Because my friend Rob Judge, the guy who I told you, in my opinion, he's my mentor when it comes to texting women. And he's also, in my opinion, the best at it when it comes to meeting women online or just texting women and getting to see them again in the future, right? And he's my buddy here in Scottsdale, Arizona. So if you ever get the chance to come to Arizona, whether it's for one of my live events or his, highly recommend doing it, right? Because if you come to mine, I'll probably have him stop by, right? They'll be obsessing about how to win you over. And he says this all the time. If you can get a girl to think about you when you're not around, she will fall in love with you, period. If you can get a girl to think about you when you're not around, she will fall in love with you. Now, let me ask you this. From your own experience, if you've ever had a girl who baited you, who tested you into making these mistakes that we've talked about on this live stream, and you started to wonder, does she like me anymore? What happened? I thought things were going great. Let me ask you this. Do you ever fall into the trap of obsessing about her, thinking about her when you're falling asleep at night and you're laying awake in bed trying to wonder, where did you go wrong? Why did she flip on you? How do you win her over, right? Have you ever been like that? I call that emotional quicksand. Have you ever been in emotional quicksand? All right, let me know. I want to see yes or yeah, Patrick, I've been there before. I want to see that because I know I've been there many times with myself. Back before I learned a lot of what we've talked about on this call. And I can see that a lot of you guys are seeing the same things. And here's the thing, when you learn how to text her perfect text, and that's your filter, she's gonna start doing that for you, period, all right? And then the last thing is you're finally gonna stop missing out on the women that you want simply because you didn't know what to text her. Because I promise you this, we've all been in that position where we're sitting there and we're about to text this girl and we're wondering, shit, what do I send back to her? And you obsess about, like, what do I send back to her? And oftentimes, you think about it so much that you actually send her something that's completely, like, not a perfect text at all, right? And when you learn how to use those three things, those three criteria for a perfect text as your filter for what to text her, those three things are gonna happen. She's gonna become addicted to chasing your validation. You're gonna have her thinking about and obsessing about how to win you over, and you're gonna stop missing out with the girls that you want simply because you didn't know what to text her, right? Because like I said, even if she likes you in person, if you get her phone number to see her again in the future and you don't know how to do this, then you're not gonna see her again in the future. And if you do, you're gonna start killing her attraction for you. And even if you do see her again in the future, but you suck at texting her, that attraction for you is gonna slowly die. And you're gonna notice it over text, because like I said, if you don't send her the right words, first, she'll start to lose attraction for you. Second, she'll start being shorter with you, sending you 1 and 2 word responses that don't give you much to work with. Third, she'll stop texting back every time. And fourth, you will never see her again in the future. You will stop seeing her with consistency, and if you do see her again, it's not going to be one-on-one, and it's not going to be under the attractive frame where she's attracted to you, all right? Now, here's the thing, man. I told you I had a surprise for you at the end of this live stream after the 5 secrets, and I also told you that I'd step that surprise up if we got 100 likes on this live stream and if we had 100 people on at once. Now, I can see the stats, and we weren't even close, right? We're not yet to the point where we have 100 people on this live stream. I have faith that will happen again next time, right? And I also have faith that we'll get 100 likes on the live stream next time. But this time, you know, I'm gonna cut you guys some slack, right? I gave you guys something to strive for. We didn't necessarily get there, but we almost got there. So here's the thing. I'm gonna give you guys the surprise anyways, right? So here's the first surprise, the announcement that I had for you guys at the end of the live stream. And then the second surprise is gonna be the one that I'm gonna give to you anyways, right? First one is, if you're on my email list, you already know about this, but if not, and you're just a guy who follows me on YouTube, maybe you just found my stuff, or maybe you haven't yet invested in this book, which would mean that you're not on the email list yet, then you don't know about this. But we've been talking about texting and perfect text on this live stream for the last 83 minutes. And here's the thing, man. I have a whole program that I created. It's called 30 Perfect Texts That Get Girls, meaning that I've already taken 30 of the most common situations that you will encounter with women in the dating process before she becomes your girlfriend. In the dating process, everything before that, whether you want to sleep with her or make one awesome girl your girlfriend or just add her to your roster of girls, I found the 30 most common situations that you'll come across, and I've also found and extensively field tested every single text that I could possibly send there, and I found the perfect text that has the 3 criteria right? Frames you as the buyer, gets her chasing you, and gives her the opportunity to win you over, right? And I created that, and it's in the link in the description right here, and it's 30 perfect texts that get girls, and it's literally costs less than the price of 2 of these, which are 2 energy drinks or 1 fancy Starbucks coffee or 1 Chipotle burrito, right? It's less than that price. So if you want that, go to the link in the description right now, right? And obviously, don't close out this live stream, but you can literally get it for just $9, and you'll get 30 perfect texts for the most common situations that you'll encounter with women, right? And you can read more about it on that page, right? But it's very badass. A lot of guys have been picking it up, right? The guys storming in, grabbing that free report, or not free report, the $9 report with the 30 perfect texts to get girls. It's been crazy, the amount of guys grabbing that on this week on the email list, right? So right now, that's the big surprise to all the guys who are engaging with me on the live stream, because here's the thing. If you watch the replay, this will not be available. This is, I'm taking it off the market when the clock on that page and the link in the description, 30 perfect text, when that clock hits 0, which is at midnight tonight, the price more than triples and the bonuses disappear. So right now it's $9. In the past, if you wanted it, you had to pay at least 47 bucks to get it, right? And it's gonna go back up to that price at midnight tonight. So if you want it and you're on the live stream right now, highly recommend you click the link in the description and grab 30 perfect texts that get girls right now. And here's the second thing, right? The surprise I wanted to give you. For every guy who's already invested on it, so meaning if you bought it already from the email list, or if you're on the live stream right now and you pick it up while we're on the live stream, I'm gonna throw in an unannounced bonus that I didn't even announce on the sales page, which is this. A lot of guys, they wanna know the perfect text, right? That's awesome. And that's what you're gonna get for just $9, less than the price of a Chipotle burrito, right? But I'm also going to create a badass training, a bonus just for guys who have picked up 30 perfect texts this week or on this live stream right now. And that is the 10 commandments of getting a girl's phone number so that she's excited to see you again and is eagerly waiting for you to text her. Meaning that if you can picture this, she's sitting there by her phone going about her day, and she's thinking about, God, I wonder if Patrick's gonna text me today. I wonder if he's gonna ask me to hang out today. I really hope he does. And she's eagerly sitting there waiting for that to happen, right? I'm gonna create the 10 commandments of how to do that for all the guys who pick up the 30 perfect texts to get girls right now, either on my email list or on this live stream. And like I said, at midnight tonight, if you try to come back and grab 30 perfect texts to get girls after midnight tonight, meaning you're watching the replay, you will not be able to get it for $9, and those bonuses will completely disappear. Meaning that you'll pay close to 50 bucks if you wait until tomorrow, and you won't get any of these bonuses. The other bonus, which is a fast action bonus for any of the guys who are already investing in 30 perfect texts that get girls, is something that I call, and it's probably the most X-rated thing I've ever put out, and it's called the blowjob addiction sequence. Now here's what the blowjob addiction sequence is. It's literally, if you want to think about like the old school game, how old school game used to revolve around like routines. So the link to 30 perfect texts that get girls is in the description of this live stream right now. So the description, I'm reading it right now. It says, want 30 perfect texts that get girls obsessed? Prepare for the live stream by going here and now. And then it has howtogethegirlnow.com/30 texts. That's it right there. If you do not have a credit card to pay for it, I do not know what to tell you, my man. I'm sorry. I haven't yet figured out how to wire transfer money from YouTube viewers. But if you do have a credit card or a debit card or any type of card, you'll be able to grab it right now. So that's what was I saying? The blowjob addiction sequence. So if you think about old school game where things were like routines and they told you routines to get a certain result, I've literally found the perfect routine, meaning that if you use this on your first date with a girl, or whether you approach a girl at a bar and you just met her that night, if you literally use this routine exactly how I show you, and it's not like super gamey and it's not super complicated, it's literally just like a guideline of like, say this one thing at this point in the conversation, say this when you get to this point in the conversation, and then this will happen. And then the next day do this, it literally creates an addiction to her giving you head, which is literally the most X-rated thing I've ever put out. And I've never given it to anybody else unless you are a private client of mine and I taught it to you directly on the phone, which we won't even get into how much that costs because most guys can't afford that. But I'm creating that and I'm putting it as a bonus for all the guys who grab 30 perfect texts that get girls before midnight tonight. all right? Along with the 10 commandments of getting her phone number so that she's eager to see you again in person and is eagerly waiting by her phone, waiting for you to text her. All right, that's also the other bonus for all the guys who are on the live stream right now who grab 30 perfect texts that get girls from the link in the description before midnight tonight. All right, so that said, let's take some more questions that you guys got. If you had any questions that you wanted me to answer that we didn't yet get to, or maybe I was too busy blabbering away, I'm gonna take 3 more questions and I'm gonna get out of here today. All right, awesome. I'm seeing a lot of guys are picking up 30 perfect texts to get girls, right? I can already see the sales coming in. Karthik, Jose, Darwin, Mario, Brett, Michael, Ted, Bismarck, Leland, Frederick. Awesome, guys. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Jimmy, dude, you guys are taking action. I love this shit. All right, give me some questions while we're on here. We're gonna close out this day by answering you guys' questions. All right, so if you suppose not to text her so much, how do you qualify her and make her interested if you haven't texted her a lot and she already knows you? How do you qualify her and make her interested if you haven't texted her a lot? So, here's the thing, man. In 30 perfect texts that get girls, don't think of it as like literally just like a list of like text 1, text 2, text 3. Yes, it is a list that you can literally download to your phone. And then whenever you're wondering what to text her, just go, oh, what's the situation? Oh, situation number 22. I recognize that because 30 common situations, you know? And I'll give you the text to send there, but I also explain why that text work. I give you a bunch of examples of variations of that text, and I also explain briefly the psychology behind that text, right? So the way you qualify her, I give you so many different ways to qualify women using those texts, and it's literally just like a lot of the things that we talk about as far as like attraction-based stuff when you're bantering with her in person apply to texting, right? So challenging girls, creating barriers, right? Teasing girls playfully. A lot of those work over text, but you got to transition it through the filter of a perfect text, meaning that it frames you as the buyer, gets her chasing you, and it gives her the opportunity to win you over, right? So the long answer is get really good at qualifying girls in person and then use the filter of a perfect text. But the short answer is just grab 30 perfect texts and you'll get a lot of examples of how to do that. Any other questions? All right, so if you send a few text messages back and forth and she doesn't reply, so you stop texting her, did you win the frame battle by showing her you're not a needy guy who will double text when she puts in no effort? This is kind of like a question where it's like, if a tree falls into the forest, does it make a sound? I think it really depends on the situation, right? Obviously, if you've done a good job of framing her as the person who is selling herself to you and you frame yourself as the buyer through your texting already and in person, then yeah, I would say it shows that you are, it's another piece of evidence to say that you are that one guy, right? But if maybe there's not a whole lot of interest and investment from her yet, and then you just don't respond to her, it's like, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? In this case, I don't think so, right? So she already has to somewhat see you as that guy that she's chasing and working towards and qualifying herself to. And here's the thing, man, women don't consciously think about this, right? They don't consciously think, oh, I'm gonna start working for this guy. I'm gonna start, they don't think like that. They just naturally tend to respond in that way. And from us on the outside looking in, we can see like the matrix of this is what's happening because we know the psychology behind what's going on here, right? But if she has 23 guys who are already texting her, trying to hit her up, 22 of those guys most likely are going to be making a lot of the mistakes. Only one of them is going to be sending her text, whether he knows it or not. Maybe he's one of the guys who picked up 30 perfect texts that get girls and went through the bonuses, right? Or he's just one of those naturally attractive dudes who's charismatic, who doesn't really give a shit, who doesn't chase women's approval, right? That one guy is really the guy who she's already chasing, who she's already wanting to work for, who she's addicted to his validation. When he doesn't text her, she freaks out, right? So like I said, going back to what I said earlier, right? When you learn this filter of what to text a girl through the filter of like a perfect text, she's gonna be addicted to your validation. Meaning that if you take away the validation, she's gonna feel that loss. It's like giving a dog a toy. I do this all the time to my dog, right? Just to fuck with him, but I'll give him a toy and he'll be loving it. He'll be chewing it around and shaking his head and shaking it around. And then 30 seconds later, I'll take it back from him and I'll put it on top of the counter just to see how he reacts. What do you think he does? He freaks out. He starts whining, he starts crying, he starts staring at it in a place that's up on top of the counter that he can't reach it. Same thing with women. If she's already addicted to getting your validation, meaning that she qualified herself to you and then you validated her. So she got the dopamine hit. And then she qualified herself to you, and then you validated her. You're creating that addiction. And then when you take away the validation by not texting her back or, doing something to where maybe you're a little bit short with her over text, then she's going to start to wonder, does this guy like me anymore? And she's gonna start working harder to win your approval back. And I'll be honest, man, when I told you about the fast ass gym bonus, the blowjob addiction sequence, it's really the same psychology. The reason why a girl is gonna be addicted to giving you amazingly passionate fellatio is the same kind of shit. She's addicted to that validation, so she goes down on you to win that validation back, and then you give her the dopamine hit, but then you do it in a way, the sneaky way, that at the end of the day is gonna make her chase that validation back. She's gonna be like, oh my God, I want it back so bad. And it creates an addiction, a chemical addiction in her brain, all right? Hopefully that answers your question. I just kind of rambled there for a little bit. Someone can borrow the money. I will pay via Western Union, please. So John Two Wheels really wants it. So if one of the Raw Dating Advice elite on this live stream right now really wants to help John out, link up with him and help him out, man. Help him out. So how do I get your book? Brigo 22, how do I get your book? Great question. So the only link that I have on this live stream right now in the description, that will take you to 30 Perfect Texts That Get Girls, the way to get that. But if you want this book, the physical one that talks all about attraction and a lot of the concepts that we've been talking about, but like in a lot of detail, obviously, that is free, and it's at howtogetthegirlnow.com. And if you go there, the book itself is free. I've already paid to print the book. I've paid this company to print it, and I'm also paying them to store it in their warehouse. And then when you buy it, all you do is pay for shipping and handling, meaning that you're paying for them to take the book off the shelf and ship it to you. And that's it. So that's the thing, is I paid for half the process. You cover shipping and handling, you get the book, it's free. There's no charge above the shipping and handling. And that's at howtogetthegirlnow.com. You also get a ton of other bonuses with the book as well. But if you want 30 perfect texts that get girls, go to the link in the description right now. If you typed it in the link in your URL, it probably wouldn't work. So you got to click the link in the description on this YouTube video to get 30 perfect texts that get girls. And like I said, if you do that before midnight tonight, you will get all the bonuses, which is the blowjob addiction sequence, which is based on psychology, and it 100% complements 30 perfect texts, because I'll just give you a little teaser. One of the steps in the blowjob addiction sequence is sending her one of the perfect texts. In fact, it's text number 10 in 30 perfect texts. So it complements these perfect texts. And then also I'm gonna create another bonus, and that is the 10 commandments of getting her phone number. So she's eager to see you again in the future, and she's eagerly waiting by her phone, waiting for you to text her, right? That's the second bonus I'm gonna throw in for all the guys who get it from this live stream tonight, or before midnight tonight, right? When midnight strikes, when the clock on the page hits 0, the bonuses disappear, and the price for 30 perfect texts that get girls goes back up to $47. All right, so right now it's only $9, literally less than the price of a fancy Starbucks coffee, or less than the price of a Chipotle burrito. You know, it's a no-brainer in my opinion, but that's just my opinion, and maybe I'm a little bit biased. But do you guys have any other questions? Any other questions? Hi, I'm from the Philippines. I'm willing to pay too via Western Union. So Brian also wants help. We got John, Two Wheels, and Brian. They want your help. Oh, I love this. I'm seeing a lot of you guys are grabbing it. Saleon, Demetrio, Jimmy, Gabriel. Dude, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Matthias. All right. Do you accept PayPal? Unfortunately, we do not accept PayPal yet. I need to be accepting PayPal. I know this is like a downfall, and we're preventing a lot of guys from getting it without, like, indirectly, but I haven't yet figured out how to incorporate PayPal with my current shopping cart that I use, but that will be coming in the future. But if you do have a credit card or a debit card, you can definitely grab it now. So the answer, unfortunately, is no, we don't yet accept PayPal, but we're working on that. I'm in Japan. What time is it over there? Right here in Arizona, it is 2:41 p.m. meaning that in less than 10 hours, all the bonuses disappear, the price goes back up to 47 bucks. I got your book, and there are so many things to keep in mind and incorporate into your interactions with women. It's hard to remember, but a lot of them intertwine with one another. Jay Rizzle. Dude, I love this question. I'm glad you brought it up. So yes, there are 107 different ways to get the girl. And yes, you are correct. A lot of these, if you really want to boil it down, all 107 of these ways are different ways to get women attracted to you when you first meet them and keep them attracted to you for as long as you want, right? But you're right, a lot of them do intertwine. And the reason, if you've read, if you ever noticed, like when you flip into the opening pages of a book, like you got the table of contents, right? And then you also got, before the introduction, there's a page where a lot of books have a quote. For me, I have the quote, and it's a Bruce Lee quote, and it says, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." Now, what do I mean by that? The reason I say that, before you even open up anything in this book, is because there's 107 different ways, but you don't need all 107 of them to get the girl. In reality, you need like 5 of them that really vibe with your personality, that are congruent to you, and you master those 5. That's it. So for me, I'm not using all 107 of these. Yes, I've used them all at different points in my progression of getting good at game, but in reality, if you went out to the bars with me, I use like maybe 5 of them, but I use them over and over and over again in different variations. Does that make sense? So yeah, man, what I would recommend you is, if you feel like there's a lot of information, I would choose like your top 5, and I would keep those in your back pocket, and I would get really good at those. And then maybe when you master those 5, I would add another thing to your repertoire. So it's slowly building up your tool belt of tools that you can whip out when the moment calls for it. But in reality, you only need a few different tools to accomplish the job, if that makes sense. So can you accept like a YouTube gift card? Well, can I pay my rent with a YouTube gift card? If not, I probably won't accept it. Someone can borrow the money. Yes, John still needs help. And who was the other guy that needed help? There's several guys. Oh, Brian, ____. They're willing to help you guys if you want to buy it for them, and they will pay you via Western Union. We're all helping each other out here, man. We're a family here. I love it. You guys are taking action. Andrew, welcome to the family, my dude. All right, man. So if you guys don't have any other questions, then I would say give me a thumbs up on this live stream. And I'm going to start doing these live streams more often, every Sunday. Most likely they're going to be at this exact same time on Sundays. I'm going to try to do these every Sunday. So if you guys are like fans of Raw Dating Advice, you're subscribed. If you're not, then definitely hit the subscribe button. But start letting me know either in the comment section, like things that you want to see me talk about on future live streams. And they're going to be like this. We're going to be having fun. We're going to be doing giveaways. I'm going to be interacting with you guys. And I'm going to be focused on one topic for that week. So I'm thinking the next week for my live stream, I just got this book. It's called The Mamba Mentality. If you don't know this, Kobe Bryant, after Michael Jordan retired back in 1998, I was 8 years old, and I was heartbroken when Michael Jordan retired, because not only was basketball my favorite sport, but my entire bedroom as a kid, I had the Chicago Bulls bedspread sheets. I had like Chicago Bulls like dolls and shit. I had basketballs that were Chicago Bulls themed. I had a lamp that was in the shape of a basketball, and it had the Chicago Bulls on it. And I had a Scottie Pippen jersey, and I had every fucking Michael Jordan poster. When he retired, I was heartbroken. So I was looking for a new guy to follow, because I love that killer mentality, even from a young age. And the next guy who I followed was Kobe fucking Bryant. And I got so much shit for this growing up, but I love Kobe. He is my fucking dude. And obviously when this book came out, I got it. So I'm so inspired by this book, The Mamba Mentality, that I'm going to make a live stream. I'm thinking about this, and you guys can let me know if it's a shitty idea or if you'd be interested in it. But next week, I'm thinking for the live stream, I'm going to give away maybe, I haven't figured out the sexy name for it, but it's basically the Mamba mentality of game, right? The closer's mentality to seducing women. How about that for a sexy title? The 10 closer mentalities, the 10 triggers of a closer's mentality for seducing women, something like that. But that's what next week's live stream is going to be about. If you like that, let me know in the comments of this, and we'll just plan on that. But like I said, last word of warning here, 30 perfect texts that get girls. Less than the price of a Chipotle burrito right now. The price is more than tripling if you waited until after midnight to get it. And the 2 bonuses are completely expiring, meaning that if you want to go grab 30 perfect texts that get girls, go to the link in the description right now and you'll get 30 copy and paste texts for the most common situations that you'll encounter with women in the dating process for $9, less than the price of a Chipotle burrito. And the 2 bonuses that you're gonna get if you get it today before midnight is the blowjob addiction sequence and the 10 commandments of getting her phone number, so she's not only eager and excited to see you again in the future, but she's eagerly waiting by her phone, waiting for you to text her one of these 30 perfect texts. All right, so get that in the description below before midnight tonight if you want those bonuses and you want it at this low discounted price. And yeah, man, we're gonna just crush it. All right. Now, if you've already got it and you're noticing that the bonuses have not yet been posted, that's because I was really waiting until after this live stream to really make those bonuses perfect. Obviously, got the bonuses. We just got to finalize it, edit it, and put it up on the members area. So those will be in the members area either tomorrow or the next day, and you will get an email from me letting you know that the bonuses have been posted, but you're gonna only get access to those bonuses if you pick up 30 perfect texts that get girls before midnight tonight, and that is Pacific Standard Time. All right, on that note, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I had a great time, and I'm gonna finish my pre-workout and go work out. You guys have an awesome Sunday.